Gene Holand is with us. I'm happy about that. He came over from CBC and Columbia Basin College. He's involved in a number of projects over there at CBC, but the one that we're going to talk about today is called Center for Innovation and Design Thinking. So, whoa, that's a lot. Gene, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
I haven't, you know, there's so much going on over there at CBC, and every time I go over there, which is years in between, I am amazed at what is happening.
Oh, you need to come see. We're growing so
Oh, you
fast.
are. Yeah.
And on top of the growth, we're building extremely fast too.
Well, as I've said this before, but I'm really quite astonished at how well CBC implements the mission of community colleges, which is to be responsive to the community, to be responsive to what communities need.
Correct.
For a workforce. So very, very, very good stuff. All right, so Center for Innovation and Design. What is this? I mean, is it an actual physical place, a course, a building, a degree? What is this thing?
All of the above.
Ah, okay.
Not only is it a course, it's a degree, and it's also in a building that we thought might have gotten torn down at one time because it was one of the original buildings on campus. And 5,000 square feet became available. And so I took it from a 1,000-foot classroom into a 5,000-foot classroom and implemented a new program. I was sent to Stanford University for a couple of weeks to what they refer to as the D School at Stanford. It's integrating engineering, economics, business, advertising, communications, robotics, you name it, at one of the schools of Stanford, they're involved in the D School. So what they've done is they've brought all of these departments together and taught them a philosophy of designing and developing product services worldwide. That's really what it's about.
And what's kind of the driving force of the philosophy, I mean, about business development here? So I feel like there's something like underneath all this that, you know, about innovation.
Welcome to the buzzword.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no other way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that we're finding is that the growth of business, not only in the Tri-Cities but worldwide, has to take a new approach. And so we looked at the Stanford concept, which was also developed by a company in Palo Alto called IDEO, and they're the driving force behind innovation and design thinking, or human-centered design. We try to teach them that it's got to work in real life. It can't be just pie in the sky that we think's going to work.
Mm-hmm. So if they're going to invent something, it has to have a real relationship with what humans are doing.
To the human being, correct.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We have one patent under our belt in our innovation program.
Mm-hmm.
It's a foot dryer. Now you'd think, foot dryer? Who the heck's going to spend that kind of money to dry your feet?
Uh-huh.
Diabetics,
Mm.
elderly, the ability to get between your toes when you're overweight, as an example. And they had to go out and observe that. Nursing homes, they went to talk to MDs of diabetics. They had to get with diabetics to find out what the issues were. And so the design came from that.
Well, how interesting. So in that example, who owns that patent?
The lady that developed it.
The student.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So she gets to come into your little incubator there and sort of do all the work and everything and take her patent away.
Correct.
Nice.
Yeah, it's student-centered. It's not faculty-centered or CBC make money-centered.
Well, that's important
students.
also, but yeah.
It's student-centered, correct.
Wow, okay.
So anyway, from understanding observation, we go to visualization. You got to have some kind of a concept, and which we jump right into prototyping. So we take a look at a variety of things. The foot dryer is an example. It started out as in a box with a hairdryer, and then morphed from there. Then we have to evaluate it. We have to test it. We have to see if it works. We have to let the diabetic use it. We have to let the elderly use it. We have to do those things. Then we need to make changes again. And then we go back and then implement the process. So it's a process. It's a learning process. It's not just a product development process. It's a management leadership process also. We teach leadership in this class, but it's all based around the methodology behind the innovation.
So I want to think about just the practical part of it. So you have classes where you're, teaching information, and then you have the lab type work where people are actually doing things.
Correct.
Making things.
Correct. And the majority.
Experimenting.
Yeah. And the majority of their time is mini lectures and doing. It's not. We're not going to lecture to them. The class meets only on Fridays, and we meet from 8 in the morning till noon. So I just left there and came here, and students don't want to leave because they're, you got a student for an hour in a normal class. You kind of got to start over the next day and get them to the next step. Start over and get them to the next step. Well, now they're running, and they don't want to quit once they get started.
So does a student take part in it as their entire project there, or course study at CBC, or is it just one of 3 other classes they're taking?
They're with me 3/4.
Oh, okay.
And only on Fridays. Then they have their normal school schedule, since CBC is a commuter school for the most part, and we only teach Monday through Thursday. So Friday's kind of if you want to take a class, come on in, but you don't have to come to school on Fridays.
Yeah. So that's where you can get a lot more work done. Okay, give me some more examples. I like examples.
A group of students right now are developing a hybrid garden that right now it's in the classroom, but they would love to build it right outside our building, where minimal water usage, succulents, those kinds of plants. But they're working with a variety of community groups. The garden group that just opened a new garden at Kennewick Public Library. They're working with the Department of Agriculture. They're trying to get all those folks together to develop this garden that could be used any place in the Tri-Cities. That's one. We built a trailer for a lady in class that she takes to schools. We started out with a $250 trailer and built walls and a roof and hydraulic lift to lift the top. A 50-inch plasma TV comes up. It's got a solar panel on top that powers the whole thing. Whoa! And
what is she teaching at the schools? What is
environmental, earth-friendly education. And let's see, geez, the list is huge. Aquaponics was another one. And I understand that a garden in Benton City uses some of the technology that the student developed in the aquaponics in my class for
the pot grower?
Plant grower,
okay.
Correct.
And
he hired the student to help develop all. 3D modeling, 3D printing, we do that. We are looking at another new laser printer that will be able to cut out things. So our ideation or our prototyping will be totally different than it has before.
Well, how close do you work with like scientists and folks out at PNNL. I mean, here we are sitting in the middle of all of these creative and engineers, scientists, researchers. You use them?
As much as we can.
Yeah.
The thing is their time is so locked up that when we meet, they're usually very deep in projects. Lamb Weston's been in. They use the methodology that we use in their research department in Richland. John Heaton uses it at Pay Plus Benefits. We had a company from the East Coast come in called Certainty. They do sheetrock. And they were posed with a problem of how can we take a 2,000 square foot house, sheetrock it, and have it ready for the painter the next day.
Whoa.
And they solved it.
They solved it?
They solved it. And we did it in 8 hours.
How? Are you giving away any secrets here?
Yeah, I would be if I discussed how they came up with the results. But
all right.
we had everything from the chief operating officer to vice presidents to salespeople to engineers to the actual plant worker who builds it involved. And they flew in from the East Coast to use our center.
Wow. Okay, we're going to take a break here. My guest is Gene Holand. He's from Columbia Basin College. He's very involved in the Center for Innovation and Design. We're back in just a moment. So, what you were saying before is that this kind of innovation is all about a process, right? So you're looking at the problem differently.
Correct.
That's what you teach people?
Yes. And it's again, it's the process. It's simple steps, but so often we get so tied up in decision making. We get so tied up in reinventing our businesses. We get so tied up in the development of moving our business in a new direction. And what the process teaches is that it's actually a difficult but still simple process of getting you to that direction.
What was the CBC investment in this program? How much money is being spent on this? You know?
Yeah, I do.
You don't want to say? What?
Oh, no. I think CBC's total investment was tables, giving us the 5,000 square foot space.
Okay.
Tables. I'm a recycler, so I take chairs that they're going to put into surplus and use those. My wife and I bought 2 classrooms full of office chairs that students can meet with clients in. John Heaton has, at Paperless Benefits, has invested a bunch. He's the individual that sent me to Stanford, and his human resource director. We both went. We went down to, John and 4 of us went down to IDEO in Palo Alto to look at what they do and their process. We flew down there for a 1-hour meeting, and I think we spent 3 hours with him. But he's invested a tremendous amount in this program, and he firmly believes that the process works, and it works for him and his company. And his company's growing like a bandit. So.
How long has this program, the Center for Innovation and Design, been operating?
Approximately 1999.
Oh, okay. All right.
We're well hidden.
You are! Yes, you are well hidden. All right, so I want to know how businesses in the Tri-Cities can utilize this service, this philosophy, whatever, at CBC.
Call us.
Okay.
We would love to have them come in, see what we're doing, first of all. Secondly, we want to know that we're available to the community. We've done workshops for businesses. We've done workshops for local firms and East Coast firms. I've been thinking about trying to give you an example of someone that's really using the process that's big. Kaiser Permanente. My my son is in nuclear medicine in Portland, and I keep sending him this stuff, and he says, "Oh, we're using that. Oh, we're doing that. Oh, we're using this," and the process is we don't care what the industry is. That's the thing. You can use it in healthcare. You can use it in engineering. You can use it in sciences. You can use it in math. You can use it. It's retail. It just it doesn't matter. But it's again, it's unless they want to learn a new process and then revert back to the old way of doing business, it's just not going to work. People have to be willing to make some changes today, and the millennials are telling us that that's what's going to have to happen. Period.
Well, what do you, how do you find the differences in the students? I guess that's would be kind of interesting to hear. The millennials versus, let's say, older students coming back and getting refreshers.
Oh, the older students are the most excited to start with.
Oh, okay.
Because they're there because they may have missed an opportunity. Let's put it that way. I have older students who are super dedicated to the process and learning the process because they bring a tremendous amount of experience in with it. My younger students are, excited to do something new where they can't fail. That's the key.
Oh, okay. So this process, there's no failure.
No, failure
Yeah.
is an option. It's not. It's okay. Fail,
Okay. All right. So it is okay to fail. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Really, our philosophy is fail often to succeed sooner. And the trial and error is really key here. And again, we've been taught win, lose, fail, succeed.
Yes.
Those things. And when it's okay to fail, we have this huge growth because they'll try things that they've never done before. And again, another example is, I'm sure you've heard of the marshmallow tower. We give you spaghetti and a marshmallow, and we tell you whoever builds the tallest tower is the, quote, winner. And you give that to a group as an example of engineers, they'll plan for an hour to build this tower. You give it to a group of kindergartners, they'll be done in 5 minutes. Because
so
no one's told them they can't fail. And they're not looking for perfection, they're looking for height. And so they're willing to test and try and do, and that's our process.
So it sounds like it would be extremely beneficial if some businesses, well, not even if they're in the business of producing a product or whatever, for whatever they do, to send one of their, or a couple of their employees over and participate. They'd come out with a whole new set of philosophies in their brain that might really have an advantage for the business.
Right, and I hate to tell a business owner this, but we try and train them to not listen to you sometimes as a business owner, because you need to venture out, you need to try and test things. My big thing is, what's it going to cost? As a business owner, you always got to look at it. If you're going to try something new, what's it going to cost you?
All right, well, I want to get a phone number, so in case people are out there and they want to take advantage, what's your phone number? How do they get a hold of it?
The easiest way to catch me is on my cell number.
Ah, okay.
And I have that with me all the time.
Well, what is that?
948-1300.
Okay, 948-1300. And you can talk to Jean about some of the projects that they're doing or how your business might be able to take advantage of that. Tell me, we're almost done here, but you were telling me a little bit in the break about the shopping cart adventure. So tell me what went on there.
The company that got the D School at Stanford started, IDEO, was given a challenge in 1999 by ABC News and Ted Koppel, and we're told to redesign a shopping cart in 5 days. Again, totally unheard of get that design done. And the owner of the company, David Kelly, made a comment. He says, look around this grocery store. He says, you know, every bin, every can, every pipe fitting, everything else was designed by somebody. The only thing that wasn't designed is the vegetable, the fruit.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's all the same process. How's it going to be used? Who's going to use it? Those things. So they looked at the shopping cart. They came up with 6 or 7 different prototypes, and then overnight they built their final design, which is a shopping cart that has no basket, but it has some baskets that sit in it, like when you run into the grocery store and you grab that little basket. Well, that's all that sits in this shopping cart. And you just take the little basket, go down your aisles and go back and drop it in, and when you fill that one up, you grab another basket and take it through the checkout. But they built a tremendous amount of design work into it, including hand scanners, which run you through the check stands real fast, and so there's some problems with that, by the way. Shopping cart that moves sideways and frontways and forward, not just frontways where you have to lift the back to move it over, and those things. It was very unique design. You can see it on YouTube, by the way.
All right. Gene Holand from CBC Center for Innovation and Design. Hey, let me give you his cell phone number again. It's 947-1300. Thanks, Gene.
948.
948. Wow. Okay, 948-1300.
Correct.